Hi friends. Hi Crystal. Today we are going to be doing a little story time because you wanted your attention. Here it is. Okay. Today, friends, followers, family members and foes, whatever, we're going to be doing a little story time about a woman who has been digitally stalking me relentlessly for the last year. And then last Thursday night, she figured a way to weasel herself into my home at 3 o'clock in the morning with a whole bunch of the rest of the bar too, I guess. So we're going to be here for a minute. I am going to actually give you guys the short version of this story because there are parts that are irrelevant to my own boundaries and space. And I'm not ever here trying to spread anyone else's bit. Like, other people's business is not mine to tell, and I will never get up here and exploit a friend or anything like that because their story is not my story. My story is my story. The things that have happened to me are my story, you know. But yeah, we're going to be here for a minute. So grab a snack and come on back. But before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know that today we're going to be touching on a couple of topics such as alcoholism and addiction. And I just want to let everyone know, if you or someone you know or love is struggling with something along those lines or any mental illness or disease like that, get help or encourage them to get help. Alcoholism is a disease, okay? And for those of you who have followed me for a while, you hear me talk about my dad all the time. And I speak very highly of my father. He was an amazing man and the best daddy a girl could ask for. He passed away 16 years ago from cirrhosis of the liver because he had been an alcoholic his entire life. So I don't want anyone, and that's one of the reasons why I went into counseling and coaching for alcoholism and recovery coaching, because my dad was a good person and that disease still took him ultimately far too young. He was 50 when he passed away, and it was from alcohol. So, and of course, as a recovery coach, I understand that these things are a disease and that certain behaviors come with certain conditions. But as a human being, I need to protect my own boundaries and my own safety as well. So if you or anyone you know is in any kind of mental health crisis, first let's go over crisis text line. CrisisTextLine.org. This is not sponsored at all. I'm just letting, because like I said, we're going to be touching on alcoholism a little bit in this video. If you are in the middle of any kind of mental health crisis, don't forget, you guys, you can always text HOME to 741-741. That's right. I wrote it down to make sure I had it right. 741-741. Text HOME. And that is free 24-hour tech support for mental health or any kind of mental illness like that. And furthermore, if you are struggling from alcoholism or addiction, it is never, and believe me, it is never too late to sober up and get your life back. And you can. And you deserve to do that for yourself. You deserve to be sober. You deserve to have a happy life. You deserve to not hurt. Okay? And go on Google, ask for help, check yourself into a rehab. We have 9 in Virginia Beach. We have 9 different rehab facilities. Google them. Just Google alcohol rehab Virginia Beach. We have 9 registered with the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Association. So here. But you guys, and if you've been watching me for a while, you already know. And if you've known me, you already know. I am never, ever trying to talk down to anyone. I am never, ever trying to sound judgy or pretentious, even though I know sometimes I do. That's never the goal. I have been dealing with this for a year, and now she's found a way to make it into my home. And she clearly wants attention. She clearly needs it. So here it is. I'm not going to give this person's last name. One, because I would have to look on all of my block lists to figure out what it was. And two, because I'm not here to dox anyone either. If you know, you know. And with that being said, you guys, don't forget to use my link for $100 off your first month of groceries with Gobble. Gobble is a meal kit delivery right to your door. They have all different kind of meal plans to choose from, and it is all pre-portioned, comes with recipes, and is ready for your table in less than 15 minutes. The menu is, of course, customizable. They have lunch, breakfast, dinner, soups, snacks. I think they even have protein shakes now. Look into that. But anyways, if you use this link, and I'll put it in the description, and if you are watching this on Facebook, it will be the link that is attached to this video. Click the link, and you will get $100 off your first month of Gobble. So go check that out. What you put in your bodies is just as important for your mental health as what you put in your mind. And Gobble has some really healthy options. And groceries are damn expensive, so go save some money. Anyways, for those of you who are new to my videos, I am a multi-certified life coach. I do offer wellness and mindset coaching digitally, one-on-one, me and you. And my website, if you are interested in any of that, is www.contextuallyhumancoaching.com. And you can email me at contextuallyhumancoaching@gmail.com for any questions. I have over 50 certifications in mental health, mental illness, talk therapy, different modalities of therapy, psychology, psychoanalysis, neurology, the list goes on. And I specialize in mindset, mental health, and neuroplasticity. Change the way you think, change the way you live, and change the way you experience the world. That's how that works. So if you are interested in that, like I said, you can visit the website or email me at contextuallyhumancoaching@gmail.com. And also, if you're new here, you should know that I was sent on an unexpected journey about 4 years ago with what should have been an uncontested divorce turned into a 10-year annulment. And my children ended up being trafficked away from me into the people that were buying them through their lawyers, which was their other family. I could not see my babies for 3.5 years. We are just now reconciling, and we're all rebuilding our relationships and looking forward to moving forward together. And it's been a long road. The whole reason I started making these videos was to begin speaking out about that. And I also have a whole website on that, what happened to me with parental alienation, resources for other parents who are being alienated from their children. And that's this one right here, courthousekidnapping.com. A Courthouse Kidnapping is also on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So I've been busy the last 4 years. When something like that happens, without warning, reason, or cause, just the crimes of others being greedy and shitting on the Constitution, using our courts and our children like their own personal checkers tiles for thousands. and they don't care who gets lost in their wake. That's a special kind of person, but it's a person that exists. And when that happens to you as a mother, your entire life stops. I have said multiple times that my 2 children are the other 2/3 of me. What you are seeing right here and hearing me say to you is only 1/3 of Jamie. The other 2/3 live outside my body as a mother. And that kind of trauma and pain is one that's indescribable. And it's unimaginable until it isn't, because it happened. It's never anything that you think can or will happen. It happens broad daylight. So I have been spending the last 4 years of my life in this room. You can see every video, working my ass off to speak the truth, speak awareness, be an advocate and a beacon of hope for other victims of the courts, trying to stand up strong as a mother for my children. If I cannot mother them by instruction due to force, fraud, or coercion committed by attorneys, then I must lead them by example. And the internet is what it is, and that's how this happened. That's how it all happened. That's how these videos started. I would have never been doing this if what happened then didn't. And I had just kept mental health VB. And for those of you who don't know, before all that happened, I owned and ran an online nonprofit for alcoholism, addiction, suicide prevention awareness, and a slew of other mental illnesses, major depressive disorder, anxiety, EDs, PTSD. And that website had over 50 pages to it. And I did it all myself. So both of the websites that have already been displayed on your screen, I did all that myself. And I've certainly had tunnel vision, as any good mother would, being put in the situation that I was unexpectedly put into. And I am a survivor, and so are my children. And we have been through things that most people can't even imagine, and thank goodness, because nobody should ever have to. This kinds of separation and trauma. Okay, back to Crystal. The reason you need to know all that is because it's important to realize how entitled certain individuals are when it comes to narcissistic people. So, like I said, I have been in this room for 4 years. Every video is from this room. I mean, of course, I leave to go get groceries and stuff. But I'm not someone who goes out. I don't really hang out in the other parts of the house that much. I got me and my dogs right here. I have my snakes. And I have been in here grinding to get my life back. Because sometimes, you guys, that's all you can do. That trauma of the parental alienation and what was done to me and my children took years to heal. And I'm just now getting back to my coaching business. I've been a life coach for 10 years. Over 10 years. I had New Tomorrow Life Coaching, and then I had Mental Health VB, which was a nonprofit. I don't get out much, but as not only a mental health professional, but a human being, even I know that I need to start socializing more. But, you guys, like I said, I was raised by my father. He had a lot of integrity. He was a hard worker. And it's almost like he's been dead for 16 years. And it's almost like I can hear him, his voice saying, there's a time for play and there's a time for work. And right now it's a time for work. And you work until it's figured out. And then you can relax. And that is the juncture of my life I am at right now. I also suffer from 4 different chronic illnesses. So life hasn't been a breeze. Okay. There was stuff that I've heard of, the parental alienation thing happening to a lot of people, but I've never heard of this happening where my name did not match my social security number. And for a year and a half, I was not recognized by my own country as a citizen. I could not have a bank account. I could not have a regular phone, like with a 720 credit score. Bizarre things have happened. And you know what? If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to link that because I made a whole playlist about what happened to my name. I'm going to link it in the description of this video. It's wild. It took me a year and a half. It just got straightened out about 2 months ago. So now I'm finally back to building my life up like a regular person. And it is taking a little bit of time. But there is, if you're watching this on Facebook, there is a playlist on a courthouse kidnapping YouTube channel. This one on YouTube. That is called, I think I called it What's in a Name. And it's like 3 videos. And it's just, you see me going through, figuring out what happened and going through the process of trying to figure out where my identity is. It wasn't, not because anyone stole it. It wasn't like that. Wild. It's been wild. The last 4 years have been nothing close to any kind of normalcy for any American, for me at all. On top of fighting to get my life back, having everything taken for me, and healing from what was done to me and my babies in those courts. It has been a road. And I know that I need to get out more. But obviously, honestly, I'm a little gun shy. After everything that happened, I don't trust a whole bunch of people. And why would I? That's just the truth. And I'm working on that. As a coach, I know that that is not healthy. And I am working on it with myself. Because sometimes, you guys, even if you're isolating, and I tell myself this too, even if you're isolating to protect yourself, you can't do it for too long. It's not healthy. Human beings were not meant to live that way. We are not biologically wired to be alone for that long. Our neurology has something called mirror neurons that activate the recognition of someone else's mirror neurons, and we need those to be neurologically healthy, just like all the other neurons. Facts. So I'm working on it. But like I said, it's been a long 4 years, and I'm healing, and I'm working on it. And I'm busy. I have dreams and ambitions. This isn't going to be my life forever. Some unfortunate situations happened, and you know what? Sometimes that's just life. That happens. Nobody is 100% safe from having the rug pulled out from under them, especially in the way that happened for me, and as unconstitutional as it was. But right now is work time. It's grind time. It's figure your shit out, Jamie time. Because this is not where I exist. And it's not where I meant to exist. I mean this space and life. I don't mean like this location. I mean this space and life. You guys, we're always moving forward. We're always evolving. And you can let your traumas break you. And you can let them destroy you. And you can let them riddle you with anxiety and pain and mental illness forever. Or you could take it and throw it right back at the world in a way that is helpful and beneficial to your community. I always tell people advocacy is such a good coping mechanism, because then you are taking back a little bit of the control that was taken from you by abusers and criminals. And this is the kind of coaching that I do. So if you're interested in life coaching, mindset coaching, this is the kind of coaching that I do. Once again, ContextuallyHumanCoaching.com. Okay. So last summer, we were invited to a concert. Keep in mind, my circle is so small, I can count on my people on one hand. And 2 of them are my children. I was invited to a concert, and I was very excited to go because I don't ever get out. And I was going with my roommates, so I felt safe. And that's where I met Crystal for the first time ever. I meet this woman, and this is the first thing she says to me. And for those of you who know the situation better, this is very, very, very important and something that only one other person, no, only other people who know this are the people who live here. Her first words to another woman, and I don't know exactly how old Crystal is. She's my age or older. She looks like she's in her late 40s, early 50s. So she's got to be, I'm 41. She's got to be at least my age, minimum. But probably, I think she's quite a bit older. So we're not talking about a young woman in her 20s still trying to figure the world out. No. This is a grown woman. I'm pretty sure she has grown children. She is there with the people who invited us. And I introduce myself. I hold my hand out. Hi, I'm Jamie. And the first thing out of this woman's mouth to me goes, if I'm lying, I'm dying, I swear to God. The first words that this woman ever spoke to me was, oh my God, you're so pretty. Don't ever meet my boyfriend. You're so his type. He would sleep with you. And for those of you psych majors and anyone who has any kind of grip on psychology, you're going to see how this has snowballed over the last year. I thought, listen, ladies, what you do with your body is your own choice, always. And I'm not trying to judge anyone. Girl, your body, your choice. You want to open that muffin shack for every man that buys you lunch, go right ahead, honey. I think you should be allowed to do that. It's your body. Do whatever you want. If you can do other things with your body, you can do that with your body, right? But at our age, putting that type of hookup culture onto another woman is wildly inappropriate. Crystal, not everyone does that. And you don't have to do it either. I know that you do, but you don't have to. And the reason I know this is because she is in like a weird bar group. She works at the bar up the street that I do not go to hardly ever, and I will never go to again now. Because I don't hang out at the bar, because I'm always working, trying to better my future. This is someone who will absolutely sleep with you if you take her out to lunch. That's like her MO. And like I said, ladies, if that's what you want to do with your body, go right ahead. You want to pawn it off for drugs or attention, go right ahead. That is your choice. But putting that on another grown woman, projecting that onto another grown woman, says a lot about how much class you don't have. Just that part. Okay? Do what you got to do to get your fill and your attention. But not everyone does that. So I said, oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you. Because I am polite. I always am polite. And she wasn't saying that to be mean. I mean, she said, oh, you're so pretty. You're the type of girl my boyfriend would sleep with. Ew, bitch, why do you think I would sleep with who are you? Why would I sleep with your boyfriend? This is not how adults talk to each other. That is insane. That is wild for someone you just met. So I ended up running into old friends at the concert and pretty much hung out with them the whole time. Later that night, I left with those people, and I actually did a video about this too, because that night, the person who got the tickets to the concert was a man who lives in the neighborhood. He had been trying to get me in his swim spa for years, and I had never gotten in it. Like I said, you guys, and it's crazy because I am outgoing. Like, I'm very outgoing and very social. But the last 4 years have been weird. I don't trust a lot of people, and I'm busy and tired. So. And I had always declined going into his swim spa. That night, it was a whole group of us. My roommates were there too. And we went back to his house after that concert, and everyone got in their bathing suit. And I finally conceded to going in and just hanging out, being an adult person. Tell me why pictures of me in my bikini showed up on his Instagram a week later with accusations I was hitting on this old man. Crystal was there. Because remember, she came with those people. She, at one point, and the only reason I know this is because both of my male roommates told me, at one point, when me and the other girls were inside, she lifted up her shirt and showed, she was like, oh, you've already seen them, because apparently her boob popped out. And so she's like, here you go. And lifted up her shirt and showed every man in that hot tub, most of whom had boyfriends. None of them were my boyfriend. No skin off my ass. While the rest of the girls were inside. This is the kind of person that this is. And she's suffering from a level of alcoholism that you only see in a small portion of adults. And we have at least one person here who's suffering from the same level of alcoholism. And that's how she got in my house the other night. So after that night, and after the whole, and I don't put pictures of my own body on social media. Go look at all my pictures. It's just headshots. It's like here up for the most part. That's pretty much it. Every now and then I'll like have something cute going on, but no. I am not yours to be looked at that way just because I have an internet and you have an internet. And ladies, take notes. Not every man, if you don't want people looking at you that way, don't put those pictures online, because they will. They will. There will be someone beaten off to it. Anyways. So, I'm just saying, like, don't post thirst trap pictures and then complain when people are sexualizing you in your DMs. Or make posts complaining about how you're just so silly when you're posting stuff in BDSM garb. That is a thirst trap. You're manipulating men to look at you a certain way so that you can either get attention, or some of y'all shame them for it. It's nuts. Men are going to look at you the way you hold yourself, honey. And that is your choice, and you do deserve respect. Everyone has a vagina. Well, I can't say that anymore. You know what I mean? Vaginas aren't that special. You guys know what I mean. Anyways, it's what's inside y'all that is pretty. You guys are smart and beautiful and powerful. Oh my goodness. It's what is inside of you. You're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful person. All of this could go away tomorrow. What makes you special and unique is inside of you. That is what's valuable. Not the same anatomy that a million other people have. Well, obviously more than a million. Anyways, end of my rant there. So, a few weeks later, after all that, and I found out about pictures of my body in a bikini on his Instagram, and that's her friend, and her other elderly friend were also making up weird lies about me. I blocked them. I blocked all of them. Bye-byes. I don't always know why people do the things they do, but it seems 95% attention and like clout driven almost every time. And it's wild because these are older. I mean, we're not talking about the TikTok generation in their 20s. We're talking about people in their 50s and 60s. So I blocked all three of them on my socials. And if you follow me, you know that a lot of my socials are monetized, and I use them for advocacy purposes, to spread hope, to spread awareness about parental alienation and what's going on in our courts. It happens to dads and moms, and it's equally as heartbreaking. I shut down Mental Health VB when all this happened with my kids, because while I'm an advocate and a human and I always want to be a source of light. I'm always a mother first. And this needed all my attention, and I had to heal from it. I had to heal from everything that happened with my kids. And we're still going to be healing for a long time. These aren't wounds that disappear in days or weeks or even years. Me and my children are going to be healing for a very long time. And all we can do is be grateful for each other and move forward. And that is the message that I will always have for them. So I blocked them on just my regular socials, like my regular Instagram, the always the one smiling one, my regular Facebook, Jamie Spence Grigolite. And like I said, there's a bit of a third party involvement here, but that's not my business. It's not my story to tell. And it's actually, I don't even know how much it really adds to the story of that this woman just won't leave me alone, because I have not invited her into my life. I have made it very clear that I am not interested in being friends with her by blocking her. The bar that she works with is right up the street. And we have at least one roommate who is in very active form of alcoholism, like late stages alcoholism. It's really bad. And I have heard that this woman has made up things about me and another person that lives here in local bars, and we don't even hang out at the bars. Like, it's nuts. So I block her and her little friends on my regular stuff. This crazy lady, Crystal, I'm talking to you. You need help, honey. Starts going to my work platforms, my advocacy platforms, to message me in all caps. This has been going on for years. No, not years. 1 year, because it started last summer. I just met her at the concert. That was the only time I have ever seen her. That was the only time I have ever interacted with that person, was that 5 minutes where she said, "Oh, you're so pretty. You look like my boyfriend's type. Please don't sleep with him." Like, girl, not everyone is a slut like that. And it's inappropriate for you to be talking to other women that way. And tone deaf as fuck. Oh, I'm getting so frustrated. Okay. Yeah. That is that 5 minutes. And when everyone was hanging out in the hot tub, which I was there with my roommates, I was not interacting with her. I was not hanging out with her. I did not ask to meet her. I wasn't being mean. Of course, I'm not going to be like rude. I'm not a rude person. So this chick starts messaging me on a courthouse kidnapping, my work stuff, on courthouse kidnapping Instagram. She starts following me on a courthouse kidnapping TikTok. I finally had to block her from there. I've had to block her from over 10 pages that she's tried to message me on over the last year. And I haven't made this public because if I can handle something on my own with a simple block button, I'm going to do it. That's done. The drama can stop with me. But now she's coming into my home. So if you are friends with Crystal, please encourage her to leave me alone, because I have been dealing with this for over a year. I will get on one of my platforms and see that she has popped up in another profile and is trying to message me in all caps like a psycho. So about 4 months after that concert, it was a Sunday, and I had been working on the website all day, and I just wanted to get out of the house for a second. So I walked up to that local bar. It's by my house. She didn't work there then, but I guess she had started frequenting that place. Like I said, I don't hang out at the bar that much. I'm very busy. Heavy drinking really isn't my thing. Like, I have shit to do, okay? I got dreams, got ambitions. But those things don't just happen by themselves. They take hard work and dedication, and that's what I've been doing. Okay, anyways. But that Sunday, I just wanted to walk up to the neighborhood bar, have a couple beers, and come home and get in bed with my dogs. So me and the roommate who invited her in the other night walk up there because he hangs out there a lot. Like I said, this person is in late stages of active alcoholism. His resting BAC isn't like is probably over the legal driving limit. And I've encouraged him to get help so many times. And I'm not going to say his name because, like I said, we're not doxing anyone here. But it's sad, man. Like, it took my dad. I'm not judging anyone, but that's my dad. See that? The urn? That's all I got left of him. Well, and of course, his memories and love and protection. I think if you watch me enough, you already know that. I am not trying to be judgmental at all. But the fact that this room is my only peace and I can't even get this woman to leave me alone at work when I have already politely waved her along to allow life to be her teacher, say, no, thank you, Crystal. I'm not interested in building a friendship or relationship with you right now because, one, I don't even have friendships or relationships with my own friends because I'm busy with work and building my life back, fighting to get my life back. I don't have time to play and party and hang out. Okay? I shouldn't have to explain that to anyone. I was not mean to you. I've never been mean to you, ever. I've never said anything rude or cruel to you. I've never even really interacted with you. So, about 4 months after the concert, I walk up to the bar. And Crystal, you remember this, walks up to me and said, Jamie, can I talk to you? Now, keep in mind, I've been working on my website all day. I was tired. I just wanted to go to the bar, have a couple beers, and walk home. That was it. And I said, no, thank you. I said respectfully, no, thank you. And that was it. And I got up and I walked to the other side of the bar. And that was it. This woman starts screaming that I am a bitch and da 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 da. And then proclaims that she is going to slam my face into the bar to where one of the owners of the bar had to be like, Crystal, get out. You're going. We're leaving. Go. Because they're friends. And now Crystal works at that bar, by the way. All I said was, respectfully, no, thank you. I don't want to talk to you. And this woman lost her mind. And I just sat there and I just ended up talking to one of the regulars while she was screaming. And then the other woman who works there got her out. And then after that, so physical threats of violence for no reason, just because I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you right now, maybe in a couple of years. But honey, I am busy. I barely get to talk to my own family. I am very busy. And it's very entitled for you to come into my work digitally. And now you're sending all of your little 20-something-year-old friends too. And honey, you're a grown woman. This is not acceptable. So after that, of course, the messages ensue. And I have, you guys, Mental Health VB is still on Instagram. I have coaching on Instagram. I run like 8 different Facebook pages. I have Laugh Track, A Courthouse Kidnapping, New Generation Coaching, Just Another JVB, Logic Lessons. Like I have many platforms. And the messages ensued of her calling me a bitch and da-da-da-da-da, and that I'm a baby because I won't talk. Honey, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't have to talk to you. And threats of violence certainly aren't going to make me want to speak to you, for sure. So I have blocked her and blocked her and blocked her and blocked her. Well, the other night, that same roommate, that same bar, like I said, he is in. I already called Mona and told her a couple days ago that as much as I love having her, and you guys know I've been fighting to see my kids for years, but as a mother, I cannot allow my child to come into an environment that is that erratic and that I have no control over, because safety is always going to be my children's first concern, and it always has been. And that's what makes me a good mom. It would be very selfish of me to have Mona over here. That's why I shouldn't spend the night or anything like that. Have Mona over here like that when the environment is that unpredictable. That's not what good parents do. But so, yeah, I guess she was working at that bar Thursday night, and our roommate brought like 7 people from the bar. He let the bar out here into the house. People I had never seen before. A couple that I had. Brianna, if you're watching this, I hope you understand the full scope of this story and why I was so upset and so frustrated. And still am so disappointed that I had no control over my own, it makes me not want to leave this room even more. And I'm sorry that I snapped, but I freaked out. I was like, you guys gotta go. What is happening? Imagine 3 a.m. in the morning, you're going out in your kitchen in your pajamas to get water. Just to refill your water cup. And you go in your kitchen and there's 7 or 8 people that you don't know, all on drugs, all wasted, and in your house and on your back porch. And they won't leave. Also, as adults, if one adult asks you to leave a home that lives there, you should respect their wishes and do that. But the roommate, invited them because he is an alcoholic. That's why Mona cannot come over here for a while. I told her that. Not at nighttime. It wasn't always like this. But, so I walk out, and she has managed to talk a belligerent roommate into being brought back here and just hanging out on my back porch. And he's too drunk to understand why that's not okay. To be fair, nobody knew that she's been digitally stalking me for a year because I wasn't about to make that anyone's business. I thought I had it handled by blocking her. But now my boundaries have been breached in a way that cannot go back. That is not okay. You know that you're not welcome. And I won't be leaving my room very much until I can find somewhere else to live. Because I'm 41. I do not want to live in a frat house. I am here to help addicts recover and alcoholics recover as my job. That's not an environment that I want to live in. And it's not an environment any sane 41-year-old wants to live in. So, if you are watching this and you know Crystal, will you please say, Jamie's been through enough. Maybe you should just back off. Because there's obviously nothing I can do. They wouldn't leave. There were just strangers in my house. There was nothing to do. I could sit there and yell, but they wouldn't leave. At 3 o'clock in the morning. On a random Thursday. No warning. Like, that would shake anyone up. We are adults. I don't want to live in a frat house. And I don't want to live in a trap house. And you guys, I'm still getting back on my feet. I'm really grateful for the person who owns this house for letting me stay here while I get back on my feet until I get back on my feet. But that's why I've been going so hard with my coaching business lately and the relaunch. Now that I have my name and social security number and everything's back the way it's supposed to be, it's time. It's time. the lack of respect that certain individuals have, and the other adults actually think it's funny, just shows the delusion. It really does. And the mental illness. And it's unfortunate. Crystal, please get some help. You know what? I don't plan on coming out of my room that much anyways. Like, I have survived so much living here. And I'm so grateful. Like I said, you guys, I'm always grateful. I'm so grateful for this roof. I preach gratitude to you guys all the time. But and I want to remind everyone to stay grateful. I started making these videos to talk about what happened with me and my kids because it was the only voice I had. It was the only power I had was my voice. And I want to encourage all of you to use your voice. It is so empowering because I'm getting my life back together still after all of that. And I'm working on all of these new careers too while going back to my old one and doing the best I can to protect my own mental health and mental wellness. My voice is just kind of the only power that I've had. And, you know, you guys, I like to make sure there's lots of lessons in these videos because if I'm going to sit here and blab it all, we're going to learn some things, okay? We're not going to do it for nothing. But I think that's the big takeaway here. The crystals of the world are going to happen. The crazy crystals are going to happen. I do hope that that woman gets the mental help that she needs. I cannot help her. I cannot provide that for her. But use your voice. Use your voice and turn your comments off. Who cares? I'm 41. I said what I said. I'm over it. Like I said, if you are suffering from alcohol or drug abuse, please get help. Recovery is possible, and you do deserve a sober life. You deserve a healthy body. I promise you do. But if your mental health is so poor that you can't keep your threats of violence away from other people or keep your hands off of other people, then maybe stay home and work on yourself for a while until you come back out with the rest of us, okay? Because, honey, this is the United States. You shouldn't have to fight anyone. It's not Spartacus. We have cops for a reason. And one of my best friends is a detective on speed dial, so I'm not dealing with that. And I don't have to. And I hope that this is a good lesson, you know, just for everyone, that you can stand your ground, even if you're doing it behind a locked door at your desk. Use your voice. You got this. And if anyone's interested in coaching sessions, visit here and email me at ContextuallyHumanCoaching.com. And as always, I want to remind everyone to stay grateful. You stay grateful for your blessings, for bringing you peace in every single one of our challenges, for bringing us strength. And I'm certainly grateful for all of you. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day.